Pornographic sites face new checks to tackle extreme content. I'm going to read into this more from the Times, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from the Times with a headline that pornographic sites are facing new checks to tackle extreme content. So under the proposed government plans, the British Board of Film Classification would audit porn sites and social media to make sure that they are removing illegal content. And makes logical sense. And my question is why we haven't done this sooner. I guess the Conservatives have kind of been preoccupied with immigration, shall we say. Now, pornography has kind of run amok, especially online now, and I think we are definitely behind the curtail when it comes to other nations, when it comes to protecting ourselves from pornography. And I think that there should be barriers put in place to protect people from pornography. It's still way too easy for people to access pornography. It's way too easy here in the UK for people to access pornography. Like, all they literally have to do is click a link there to say they're over 18 and they're in. Like, I mean, at least with OnlyFans, they have these, you have to have face recognition and whatnot. There are barriers to come in. So at least for OnlyFans, there are at least checks and balances. But many other pornographic sites don't have them. Now, obviously, I'm talking about something completely different to this subject, but it is something that does gripe me a little bit, that more should be done to stop people just getting access to pornography so easily, because I do think there needs to be more done to it. And especially if somebody has access to the internet and they are a youngster or they are a minor or whoever, it's really not that hard for them to get past and get on something like Pornhub. It really, really is not. So the checks and balances there needs to be some more needs to be done for that. Now, in terms of extreme content, I welcome these proposals by the government. So the idea, obviously, of boards to be actually making sure that these websites aren't actually putting on content that is considered harmful or dangerous. It is a step in the right direction, but should we be doing more to protect ourselves from extreme content? Yes, I do think we should be doing so. One of the things that pornography tends to do to men, and it will probably be mentioned in the article as well, is that when men see certain content, they like the content, they'll end up wanting to do it to a woman. And obviously, it can, and especially extreme content, that can enact men to do things that they should not be doing, and they're getting their examples of how to treat men and whatnot, perhaps through pornography, and that's not the right way of men doing things. So there is an education barrier that needs to be there's an education barrier challenge that comes to this as well. It is problematic, I know, but yeah, extreme content definitely needs to be challenged, and yeah, we need to make sure that a lot of these sites have checks and balances. And I think there's quite a lot, and I think that there's a lot of rogue sites that perhaps maybe the government should look to really try to push and stomp out a lot of these rogue sites that don't have these checks, that don't have the checks and balances. Because there's going to be a lot without checks and balances here. Let's be real. Like, the internet is just, so more needs to be done here without a question. So a government commission review is expected to recommend that spot checks to be carried out on pornographic websites and social media platforms to monitor harmful content with significant granted to showing these good practices. Okay, so it's not something that is in place, but it's going to recommend. It's not. It's online, yes, but it needs to be done like yesterday. I mean, we're in 2025 and we're only having this discussion now. Like, you're telling that right there is a problem. The British Board of Film Classification, the BBFC, is currently responsible for checking and licensing pornographic videos sold in sex shops, but has no responsibility for online material. Like, these shops and whatnot on the ground, it's easy to monitor them. Online is a completely different matter. Under the proposed plan, the NGO would audit large pornographic sites and social media companies to make sure they're complicit with removing illegal, harmful, or abusive content. Yeah, social media companies. I do think to a certain extent, social media companies do tend to do a pretty decent job themselves of doing it. But yeah, there should be some auditing on social media companies as well. Now it says they're large pornographic sites, so it's not wrong. So are they just going to ignore the medium and other content sites that probably aren't as not well known? It's one of several recommendations made by a task force to set up and investigate so-called extreme porn, which is becoming increasingly prevalent online. The review is understood to conclude that there is a clear link between such material and harmful sexual attitudes and behaviours in the real world. This is 100% true. I do believe that there is a link. It's found that the use of such pornography was associated with men viewing women as sex objects and an increase in acceptance of sexual aggression towards women. Yes, again, I also agree with this, unfortunately. Site that passes the audit checks could receive an accreditation of good practice. Sites that consistently violate the rules could face sanctions from telecom regulator Ofcom under the Online Harms Act. And then what? You just what's the line for when you finally ban the website? A US study found that men who use pornography more frequently have a higher likelihood to try or be interested in trying sexual behaviours that have seen acted out in films. The report is expected to make a number of recommendations to try to curtail the availability of such material in the UK, particularly on mainstream sites such as X and Reddit. Yeah, Reddit and X are both big problems. Yeah, Reddit, like I don't personally use Reddit. Yeah, people have said like there's really nothing stopping people what they do on there. It's absolutely crazy. I have heard of some content that people put on there. It's absolutely insane. There is really yeah. Reddit does not have checks and balances, but I think also, like, and I know as you guys use this, like, where's the checks and balances for Discord as well? Like Discord as well is another one that could be it. I think Blue Sky definitely has those checks and balances as someone who uses that. We know that X doesn't have it because you get, if you actually go into your hidden messages on X, or if you have X, you'll know you get hundreds of messages from weirdos all the time, guy or girl. It recommends that Ofcom should use its powers to disrupt the business model of websites that do not comply with the new rules. Disrupt, what does that mean? What does disrupt mean? Like, you need, what specifically here? Like, for me, it should be a little case of free strike warning. Like, for me, you should have a very, very strict control of, like, we've caught you out doing it once, don't do it again. We've caught you twice, you do it again one more time, your website is banned from the UK. Third time's a charm, bang, you're gone. That's what you should do, a free strike rule. I think that'd probably be a better way. This would mean using its full range of powers, including imposing significant specific requirements on advertisers, payment providers, or media owners not to deal with companies flouting the regulations. A source close to review, which could be published as soon as this week, said that while pornography has always been a fact of life, its scale, nature, and impact has been transformed dramatically. Yeah, thanks to the online internet. It's just, that's where it's all gone now. The Online Safety Act will go somewhere protecting children from accessing pornography, but more needs to be done, they said. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the children are the most important priority here. But for me, it's also about making sure that men's minds are not warped by it as well. More needs to be done to stop men's minds being warped about it. And that's where the education needs to come in. Not just on adult level, but from school, college level as well. Pornography that includes degradation, threats, and coercion, or that would encourage child abuse, simply isn't tolerated offline. But in the online world, it is rife. This disparity forms basis many of the recommendations of the review. Government source said the review team, led by Baroness Gabrielle Lewis-Bev, the Conservative peer, has done a thorough job, and ministers will be looking at detail of its recommendation. It's an important piece of work, and we'll be responding to its recommendation in detail, they said. I'll be interested to actually... I don't know if there's going to be a committee hearing on this, But if there is, I do want to hear, I do want to know about this and what questions are going to be brought up with regards to this, because I do think there needs to be more, needs to be discussed about this. Yes, of course, there are other things going on right now, other things that that the government needs to be challenging, and I'm fully aware of that, and you can point them out in the comments down below. But there's not enough checks and balances when it comes to pornography, specifically here in the UK. I can't speak I can't speak for Scotland or other nations, but more needs to be done. It's too easy for people to access pornography. It's too easy for people to access extreme content. It is way too easy. It's way too dangerous, and it just gives rife to create the kinds of men that you see online that hold so much abuse at women, that see women as objects, that goes down that line of the lines of the language that you hear from someone like Andrew Tate. And more needs to be done about this. It needs to be curtailed, and men need to be taught that this is not okay, that this is not how women should be talked to, this is not how women should be treated in any way, shape or form. It needs to be taught at a young age, and pornography needs to face it needs to do more to protect that. While I understand that the pornography has a business and whatnot, I just feel like that they can just get away with anything. But what do you guys think? What do you guys make of what could be the checks to tackle extreme content? Do you think that the UK government is doing enough? Are governments in where you are? Perhaps maybe some of you guys abroad, maybe there are checks and balances where you are. But let me know your thoughts and more down in the comments section below. If you found this video informative or helpful in any way to you, please hit that like button, share this across social media, and subscribe for further content. Do check out the Patreon and Rumble for additional content along them. And if you want to financially support me in the work that I do on this platform, hit that join button down below for YouTube membership. For as little as 99p, you get access to additional perks on there. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.